In the last video, we put together a bunch of different action creators inside of our actions.index.js file. We did this all in one go, just so we didn't have to come back over to this file nonstop throughout the rest of this application and talk about like the next action creator we had to put together. Now we're going to take a very similar approach for putting together our reducer as well. We're going to start to work on our stream reducer inside this video. And we're just going to put the entire reducer together in one go, as opposed to having me kind of spread putting the reducer together around a couple of different videos throughout the rest of the application. Now, for the reducer we're going to put together, we're going to do things just a little bit differently than we have in the past. So let me show you a couple of diagrams to help you understand exactly what I mean by differently. All right. So this right here is a diagram of more or less how we have been creating reducers throughout this course anytime that we had a list of records that we wanted to maintain. So we could, as an option, we could totally have a streams reducer that always returned an array of stream objects. So each of these little boxes right here represent a separate stream that has been created by a user. Remember that every stream object is going to have a title and a description assigned by the user, and it's also going to have an ID property, and that ID is going to be assigned by that API. So if we wanted to follow the same convention as we've seen throughout the course, we could return an array that has a list of all these stream objects inside of it. But like I said, this time around, we're going to do things a little bit differently. And the reason that we're going to do this differently is that it's going to make many different operations around maintaining an array much easier than if we had an array. Okay. So here's what we're going to do instead. So we are still going to have a streams reducer. It's going to behave as a reducer usually would. So we're going to add it to the combined reducers call. But rather than returning an array of streams, it is going to return an object that has all the streams inside of it. So we're going to return an object instead of an array. Inside this object, we're going to have a collection of key value pairs, as you would expect inside of an object. The key for each of these key value pairs is going to be the ID of a stream. So let's say right here, if we had a key of 1, the value for that would be the stream that has an ID of 1. If we have a key of 22, the value would be the stream with ID 22. And if we had a key of 37, the value would be the stream with ID 37. So in order to kind of access any given stream inside this object, we would just have to reference our streams piece of state out of our Redux store, and then essentially try to access the appropriate ID inside there. And that will give us the stream that we're looking for. Now, besides making accessing records a little bit easier, also modifying or updating data from our streams reducer will be a lot easier as well. So we looked at this chart right here a while ago. Now, I want you to recall that one of the steps that we looked at was how we replace an element in an array. So this case right here of replacing an element in an array would be applied anytime that we called our action creator of edit stream right here. So whenever we call edit stream, we are attempting to update a stream on our API. So we make the request to update the stream. We then get the updated stream back as the response from the API. And then we're going to dispatch an action of type edit stream right here with our payload that has the stream inside of it. And so when we got back this updated stream, we would probably want to find the original stream with the identical ID inside of a reducer and remove the old version of the stream and put in the new version right here. So if we wanted to do that with an array-based approach, we would have to write out some code like you see right here. We would have to map over all of our different stream records inside of the reducer. We would have to find the stream with the ID that we cared about, and then return the newly updated stream. But if we were making use of an object from our reducer, the updating process would be much more straightforward. We would put down the curly braces to indicate a new object. We would take all the records out of our old state object and add them in, and then we would add in a new key value pair. But in this case, the key would be the ID of the stream that we just updated. So let's say if we updated stream with ID 65, we would put in a key of 65, and then the value would be stream with the ID 65. So basically the syntax here of updating our state is going to be so much easier when we are making use of an object instead of an array. Now, to make this really kind of sink in and help you really understand this, I want to write out a little bit of sample code. So I want to write out a little sample code to show you how we would update a record inside of an array if we were using the array-based approach, and then do the same thing with an object as well. And you're going to very quickly see that, yep, if we use an object to store all of our records, life is going to be much easier. So I'm going to flip back over to my editor, and I'm going to open up a brand new file. I'm not going to save this file. This is just some sample code. So you do not have to write this out. I just want to very quickly show you how much code we have to write out to update records when we are making use of an array inside of a reducer. All right, so I'm going to first do the array-based approach. So I would have something like stream reducer, and I'm going to default my state to be an empty array because that's the kind of case that we're going to look at for right now. And then I would switch over my action type. I would have a case inside of here of edit stream because that's the only case that I want to show you very quickly. I'm going to put the default on here just to be complete. So then inside of here, if we fell into the edit stream case, chances are our action object right here would have a payload of the newly updated stream that just came over from our API. So we would then need to look through our state array right here, find the old stream with the same ID, remove it, and replace it with the new stream inside that action object. So to do so, we would end up with something that looks like this. I would return state.map. I would iterate over every stream that I have inside of my state array. And then I would say something like if the old stream ID is equal to action.payload.id. So remember action.payload right here, that is the new stream that just came back from our API. So if the stream that I am iterating over has an ID equal to the stream that was just updated, I want to return the new stream and not the old one. So I would put in return action.payload. And then I would also have to handle the else case here. So if it was not the stream I was looking for, I would just return the stream itself. Okay, so that is a reducer right there that is going to use an array-based approach. And this is how much code we have to write just to find the appropriate record inside of that array and then replace it. So this is handling the edit stream case. So let's take a quick pause right here. When we come back to the next video, I'm going to show you the same example, but we're going to use an object-based approach instead. And you're going to very quickly see that it requires way less code to update records inside of an object as opposed to this array approach. So let's take a quick pause right here. When we come back to the next video, I'll show you that quick example.